Thank you, Darrell. John, would you speak from the Department of Health point of view?
Sure. The Department of Health has primarily our clean air branch is the primary branch of the Department of Health that's involved with PGV. But the HERE office was involved during the emergency response following the incident as well. So these bullets were put together. I've got copies to provide y'all, or at least some copies. I don't know if enough copies, but I'll just run through these. These are basically the information that the department had put together about the facts of the case and what's going on. So I think others have covered the time of the plant was stripped off, the estimated amounts of H2S emissions from both the ESRF, or the designed emergency release, as well as the unabated release. And the only other information that we had there was the plant manager, who was actually lived in Kapoho, I understand, and went to the plant to shelter away from the shore. They have sensitive meters there, and at the time of the mission, actually took some readings at the plant and then went down Poiki, Leilani, and Lanipuna area and took readings, and those were reported as no higher than, I think the highest was 25 outside the plant parts per billion, and 34 or 35 in the building that he took with his handheld monitor at the time of the release. That would have been 8 o'clock.
We're just individuals. We don't know what the frick you're talking about.
We gotta have a free flow of information here. We're not gonna get it at that time.
Whose information?
Let me try to restate that then. I'm sorry.
Get it layman's terms so that you can understand, because I can understand you, but some people don't understand, so you gotta put it in layman's terms.
Okay, so we said before that there are 4 monitors out there monitoring the H2S around the plant. 3 of them on PGV property and 1 of them in Leilani neighborhood. And all those monitors were down because the power was off. Those, excuse me? So those monitors were gone. There was no...
Batteries, nothing. You guys, Elko doesn't have any solar batteries going to test if information's going off.
Let's please let John finish. There'll be time for questions.
It's really insane the way that you're displaying this whole event. You're letting the demons rule. That's what you're doing, Tom.
That's not what
Not giving the people
that is not what he's doing.
Me, I've asked 4 questions already. They have not been asked. You're not going to be asked again.
Hold on for just a minute, please. Can you please hold on for just a minute? If you have a question, write the question down and give it to me, and I will ask the question, because if we turn it into this kind of emotional meeting, and and then we're gonna do it, but we're not to the questions yet. We need to hear what they have to say, please. Listen, I've lived there since 1981. I've been exposed to hydrogen sulfide and knocked down more than anybody in this room. And we need to get this information if we're going to fix this problem. If we don't go through this process, we're not going to get anywhere, and it's going to continue. We're going to try and fix it. The idea.
Is everybody being hypnotized right now?
I'm not being hypnotized, and anyway, I don't know what to tell you other than if you want to have a yelling match, we can get up. Listen, just a minute, please. If you want to have a yelling match, we can all get up and yell at each other, and we're not going to accomplish anything.
The purpose of the meeting, I'll say again, is to solve problems. To solve problems, we need to have information from both sides. There have been many things said here that I personally don't agree with and that I will challenge. I can assure you that that is going to occur. But we need to let them say what they think happened. And,
In writing, I don't want what they say.
well, we have it on video. There are a lot of people here videoing, and we can get it on writing if we need to. So if we could turn down the temperature just a couple of degrees, and I would appreciate it, so we can go ahead and listen to the rest of the participants.
This information I'm going through is in writing, and it's being passed out now. I don't know if there's enough copies for everybody. And again, these were just facts that were put together by the Department of Health of what information it had as of this meeting about the event and about any monitoring data that they knew about the event. That's what it is. And the point I was taking, that the monitors were down, and they were returned to service not until August 14th, so they were down approximately a week. And during that time, we just have readings with handheld monitors that are reading the H2S level, okay? And there's a small set of data that the plant manager took at the time of the unabated release at the plant and on the roads outside, and that's, to my knowledge, some of the few H2S monitoring data we have, and that information is in the sheet there. And we can ask questions about that data later. As I said, the monitors, the 4 monitors went back up on August 14th. During that time, the plant was going through a scheduled maintenance, so they were bringing the plant back up for a week during that time after the storm. And there were additional Clean Air Branch and HERE office staff brought over during that time to monitor, to respond to any complaint that came into the Department of Health. And that's what happened. They're repeatedly monitored around the plant. The Clean Air Branch has 10 stations sectioned around the plant, between the plant and the neighborhoods there, where they do routine monitoring with equipment that's sensitive to take H2S readings to determine what levels are. They also responded to complaints and would go out to people's house if they requested and monitor the H2S levels. And those occurred during that week afterward when the plant was being brought up and the maintenance was going on. And those occurred August 13, 14, 18, 21, 22, 25. That's in the information where this monitoring by the Clean Air Branch occurred at the facility. They also do inspections of PGV as part of their work, and the plant was inspected back in May, July, and August during this time period. As I said, when complaints came into the Department of Health, they would respond to those complaints, call them up, try to talk to them, offer to go out with the monitors and measure H2S levels at areas' homes. They interviewed some residents themselves, and we were gathering the information like Tom was of who called in, where they lived, and where those complaints were, what the complaints symptoms were as well, and we are interested in that data. They're in discussions with the Environmental Protection Agency, the Poison Control Center, the attending physicians of people that went to the doctor, as well as County Civil Defense. And since the DOH air quality monitor, the fixed station in Leilani has gone up. The levels have all been very low of H2S, on the order of 0 to 1 parts per billion on the 1 hour average, which is what they measure. And the plant has a permit that they have to meet 25 parts per billion, be below 25 parts per billion H2S for a 1 hour average. So that's the permit level they have to meet at all times. And as I said, since the plant was coming up after the event out, as far as we know, those measures have been below that level. During the incident, all the monitors are down, so we don't have that information. That's why your reports are important during that period.
Moving the monitors to a different area, they're all located on hills.
Why doesn't everybody have one?
Let's wait, please write these questions.
Those are good follow-up questions, but, and I can take those down or try to address them. Finally, just to get through these bullets, I wanted to mention that, again, since the air monitors have brought up, the HUS levels have been low. All the monitoring around the plant during the time period since the incident, since everything was closed in and the plant brought up, have been low. And the on-site inspections by the clean air branch of the PG facility itself have indicated normal operating conditions since that time. And as far as we know, they're meeting that 25 part per billion standard since the time of that uncontrolled release. So again, this is all in writing, so you can share that.
Can I have a copy?
Yeah, it's been passed around, I think.
Silly?